Pretty simple from the acting Canadian captain who scores for Canada in that 2-0 win over El Salvador. Let's chat about it with the Scotland international Steven Caldwell, our soccer analyst. Typical CONCACAF, Steven?
Crazy.
That was like watching the Broad Street Bullies in the 1970s, I thought, in the first half. Or was it just me? I mean, that was intensely physical in the first half.
It was crazy, Jay. It was. We've seen a lot of things in CONCACAF, haven't we, through the years, but that was something different. The aggression, even beyond aggression for me, the dirtiness from some of the tackles, some of the plays that El Salvador made on Canada was quite ugly, really, and you never want to see that. I don't mind people being competitive and trying to get an upper hand, but there's a line and they cross it too often.
And yet, as Jonathan David said, we were ready for it. They were ready for it, and they come through with the victory. And Jonathan David specifically, I mean, he doesn't even have a contract in Europe yet, and yet he still breaks the deadlock and just shows why, even if we don't know who's going to play beside him, he will always produce.
Yeah, he's got extreme quality, and when he gets in the positions, he's our one guy that we can trust to sort of find the right finish at the right time. And, you know, we've seen it so often. It's so good the way that he receives this ball. He opens his body up. He sees the defender coming. He has a quick glance. The things that he does in milliseconds is so special. And then the curve on the ball, and it's in the bottom corner, and it's in the back of the net. And that's what makes him so special, that he can open a game up with that moment of class when it really matters.
And there's some talk that perhaps he might have agreed to a deal with Juventus.
Yes.
In Serie A. Do you like the idea of that fit, if it is true?
A great club, Juventus, for sure. Serie A, I'd like to see him go to a different league, personally.
Okay.
But a great club, a big club, a Champions League club, and certainly a club that are always fighting for titles and fighting for trophies. So, you know, he's going to go somewhere good. He's got to take his game on to the next level, in my opinion, if he wants to move into that upper echelon of really top strikers in the world.
El Salvador down to 9 men in the second half. Are you somewhat disappointed that the score was only 2-0?
No, I think El Salvador defended really well, actually. With 9 men, it's impossible. Luke asked me a couple of times what it's like. I'd played in the game once at Old Trafford against Manchester United where we had 9 men. I was playing for Wigan Athletic. And it's so hard, Jay, because you got to give the game up. If you're 1 or 2 goals behind, there's no way you're coming back. So you just sit in and you try and, you know, get 2 banks of, 4-4 or 5-3 they went tonight, and they defended well. They made it difficult for Canada. They were spirited for about 15 minutes, Canada, and then they realised, just conserve energy. We've won the game. We're not getting in behind them. We're just going to make sure nobody gets hurt, nobody gets a crazy red card, nobody affects what might happen in the next game against Guatemala in the quarter-final. Yeah,
speaking of that, you know, Jesse Marsch back on the touchline, so he has a chance to assess the squad, but it's kind of hard to get a real feel of your squad in a match like that. Having said that, from what you're seeing, calling the match, how are you feeling about this Canadian squad heading to the quarterfinal?
I'm feeling good. I don't feel great. They're not in the best form, you know. I'd like to see them really flowing. Maybe that would be too early, because, as you say, as you go through a tournament like a Gold Cup or a World Cup, you want to keep getting a little bit better. But I think they've peaked in the first game so far. So I would have liked to have seen a sort of better performance. But they've got enough quality out there, and I think they always knew they were going to come out of this group. So now they're at the point where they expected to be. It's quarterfinals. It gets serious now. Guatemala is a good match-up for Canada, in my opinion. A game that they can win, that I think when you look at the style of play Guatemala and what Canada can bring, I think Canada will have too much power and too much athleticism for Guatemala, and so they'll come through that, and then it sets up hopefully potentially
USA.
Yeah, which would be amazing. And so by that point, you want to know exactly what your best 11 is. You want to be in your best form. You want to be at your top speed as an individual and then collectively as a team. So this is it. This is a business end of the tournament. It's time to dial it up.
And it's hard not to look ahead and see, as you said, they should get past Guatemala. The U.S. has not been in great form for a while. There's a path to the final here if they really are in good form, Canada.
There is a path to the final, and there's a path to the trophy. There really is, because Canada are as good as anybody in the tournament. They have the pieces to get it done. They've just got to go prove it now, and they need the luck and they need the composure at the right time, and they obviously need to be clinical when it matters, because as we get deeper and deeper into this Gold Cup, it's going to be the fine, minute things that matter. The Jonathan Davids in the attacking end, the Derek Cornelius, Dane Sinclair, or Max Grippo, we'll keep an eye on that battle. Everything needs to come together now, and Canada need to be ruthless.
Thanks, Steven.
Thanks, Jay.